Welcome back, everyone. Today, we are stripping away all that confusing, kind of woo-woo jargon to explore an incredibly fascinating, ancient framework for understanding human potential. We're talking about the chakra system. We're going to break down exactly what these energy centers actually are, what they do, and most importantly, how you can use this framework to fundamentally improve your daily reality. Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. Here is our quick roadmap for today. 1. Decoding your energy centers. 2. The personality, which covers chakras 1 through 3. 3. The bridge, focusing on the heart chakra. 4. The soul, covering chakras 5 through 7. And finally, 5. Empowering your reality.
All right, kicking things off with Section 1, Decoding Your Energy Centers. Now, it's absolutely crucial to understand right up front that chakras are part of what's called the subtle body, or the energy body. If you were to do a physical, medical dissection of a human being, you're not going to find a glowing wheel of light. But they do map directly to very real physical systems. The word chakra itself is an ancient Sanskrit term that literally translates to wheel or turning vertex. You can think of them as these whirlpools of highly concentrated energy. And what's really mind-blowing is that the locations of these subtle energy centers align perfectly with where our major endocrine glands are located. This means these are the exact spots where our bodies dump essential life-regulating hormones right into our bloodstream.
We usually only hear about 7 chakras, right? Well, the ancient yogic systems actually map out 72,000 energy channels in the human body, called nadis. These energy lines cross each other all over the place, and wherever they intersect, they form a junction point. Believe it or not, there are actually 114 of these junction points in the body. But for our sanity today, we're just focusing entirely on the 7 major ones that run straight up the central column of the body.
I really love this analogy from the source material. Think of your body like a building's electrical grid. You have major junction boxes where all the big, heavy-duty connections happen. You can also think of these chakras as individual pieces of a car engine. I mean, if one piece is totally misaligned, the whole engine starts to sputter, right? In terms of how they function, they act just like a Wi-Fi router, constantly transmitting and receiving energy and information from the world around you.
Now, what's really interesting here is the literal math behind the colors. You've probably noticed that chakras are always represented by a rainbow, but why is that? It's because of the light-sound bridge. The 7 notes of a musical scale vibrate at very specific frequencies, and when you multiply the harmonic frequencies of those 7 notes by the speed of light, they mathematically translate into the exact color spectrum of the 7 chakras, literally starting from red at the bottom all the way up to violet at the top. How cool is that?
Moving right along to Section 2, the personality, chakras 1 through 3.
So these lower 3 centers are entirely dedicated to human survival, our ego, and the foundational traits that make up our everyday personality. Starting at the very base of the spine, we've got the red root chakra, dealing with physical needs and basic survival. Moving up just a bit, we find the orange sacral chakra, which processes emotions and sexuality. Above that is the yellow solar plexus, and that is your center of willpower and mental focus. It's really just like Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You simply cannot successfully move up to higher levels of existence until the basic foundation of these 3 chakras is completely locked in and stable.
Let's look closer at the root. When your root chakra is totally balanced, you feel grounded, you feel secure, and you're just at peace. But when it's blocked, you feel fundamentally unsafe. You see, the root chakra acts exactly like a computer's hard drive. It literally stores subconscious data from the day you were born. Unhealed early childhood trauma gets stored right here, and it operates silently in the background. A lot of times this manifests as totally unconscious fear, a chronic lack of safety, or even extreme material greed as you desperately try to control your environment. Jumping up to the yellow solar plexus, we see the real power of the gut-brain connection. A balanced solar plexus gives you incredible self-worth and that really powerful gut instinct that warns you of danger. But remember that orange sacral chakra right below it? If you have unhealed emotional trauma lingering down in your sacral chakra, it spills right over into the yellow solar plexus and just corrupts your thoughts. This kind of imbalance usually manifests as constant judgment, vicious gossip, and a highly toxic, totally anxious me versus them mentality.
All right, now we transition into Section 3, the bridge, the heart chakra.
As we move up into the center of the chest, we are leaving those lower survival centers in the dust. The heart chakra is the literal and metaphorical bridge where we shift our focus from me all the way over to we.
The ancient name for this green center is Anahata, which means the unstruck sound. And the symbol for it is so fascinating. It's a downward-pointing triangle, which represents the grounding pull of physical survival, meeting an upward-pointing triangle, representing the soul's longing to reach higher. This energy center dictates our capacity to love not just ourselves, but others. It guides us toward healthy, beautiful interdependence, rather than a toxic codependence.
And this brilliantly illustrates how we actually naturally ascend through these chakras as we age. In cellular biology, the human body completely replaces its cells roughly every 7 years. Notice the timeline mapping here. From ages 0 to 7, you are completely focused on your root survival. By 7 to 14, the emotional sacral chakra kicks in with puberty. 14 to 21 is that highly ego-driven solar plexus phase. And then, right on schedule, from 21 to 28, the heart chakra activates as we start seeking out really deep, interdependent relationships.
Which brings us to section 4, the soul. Chakras 5 through 7.
Okay, we are now entering the higher layers of the aura. We are leaving the ego entirely behind and beginning to tap into intuition, profound truth, and higher consciousness. Let's quickly map these upper centers out. We have the blue throat chakra, located right at the vocal cords, acting as the ultimate center of truth and communication. Above that, right between the eyebrows, is the indigo third eye, the absolute seat of intuition and clarity. Finally, hovering just above the physical head is the violet crown chakra, representing complete spiritual realization and a deep connection to the collective.
When it comes to the blue throat chakra, our sources outline two massive extremes when things get imbalanced: silence and violence. If you're afraid to speak your authentic truth, you retreat into silence. You keep secrets, and you literally swallow your words. On the flip side, if your beliefs are challenged, you might lash out verbally in total defense. And get this, holding back your truth or violently projecting it can literally manifest physically as chronic health problems in your mouth, your throat, and your sinuses. Your body keeps the score.
Moving up to the third eye, or Agna. We really need to demystify this one. It is not a literal physical eyeball growing out of your forehead, okay? Instead, it is a highly established energy form linked directly to the pituitary gland. Think about it. Our two physical eyes are actually kind of deceptive. They only let us see what is strictly necessary for our physical survival. The third eye allows you to see things exactly as they are, completely without the filter of fear or ego. When this activates, all those intense polarities of good versus bad just neutralize into absolute clarity.
And at the very top is the crown chakra. Fun fact, this center actually sits just outside the physical boundary of your body. When your energy reaches this point, the illusion of isolation entirely dissolves. You literally connect to a global, collective consciousness. The sources describe this activation as an unexplainable, almost unreasonable ecstasy, a profound realization that we are all fundamentally connected, and an ultimate liberation from all past karma.
So the crucial point is, how do we actually use all this? Let's hit our final section, number 5, empowering your reality.
How do we diagnose and align these energy centers in our day-to-day lives? Well, you can physically affect your subtle body with really tangible everyday habits. Got a blocked root chakra? Simply go work barefoot outside in the grass. The earth acts as a giant magnet, literally pulling positively charged toxins right out of your body. For a super anxious solar plexus, you can use deep, belly-expanding diaphragmatic breathing to physically reset your gut instincts. And to open up the heart, practice caring for an animal or a young child. It is honestly one of the absolute most effective ways to transmute past pain into pure, unconditional love.
Let's move on and see how this builds into a really clear psychological roadmap. Step 1, you have got to become intensely aware of your persistent negative thoughts, because thoughts literally have shape and energy. Step 2, start tracking your emotional triggers. Ask yourself, what specific circumstances cause you to have a knee-jerk reaction? And step 3, actively commit to healing your past relationships. When relationships end poorly, energetic cords in the heart chakra literally remain torn, and they have to be consciously rooted back into yourself to restore your natural energy flow.
Which leaves us with this final, incredibly profound question to reflect on. In your daily life, are you operating purely as a personality, totally trapped in the survival instincts and the ego of those first 3 chakras? Or are you operating as a soul, communicating your truth, seeing things clearly, and acting from a place of universal connection? The choice of where you focus your energy is entirely yours. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer journey today. Keep exploring, and I'll catch you next time.